What's up, guys? On the fly, the final score. We're doing our Monday update. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I wasn't able to get on here live and do my updates like usual. It was a busy weekend. My uncle had passed away in January. We had a memorial service for him Saturday, so spent a lot of time with family. Everything went real well. Um, yeah, we just had a busy weekend. Yesterday I thought about going on, but it was such a dreary, rainy day that you know, we I just decided, I'm gonna be lazy today. And I was. But yeah, want to come on and see what you guys hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys what is this May 1st? And it was like 40 degrees this morning when I went out. Me and my daughter usually go out and we'll go get some, something to eat, something like that. We always frequent our favorite place, you know, hometown nutrition in Hosky, North Carolina. And we made our way over there. Ran into a good friend of ours, ran into Mister Robert Matthews, who comes in the chat room with us a lot. He gives us comments on our live videos. And yeah, we had a good time. We had a little visit with my boss man, and he was doing good. If I'll have to tell you guys, I don't want to get into that right now, but just keep praying. Just keep praying for somebody for him, and keep him in your prayers over the next few weeks or month or whatever. Um, yeah, lot going on. Uh, First of all, let's NFL draft. And guys, if you wait for the NFL draft episode, I apologize. I've had some technical difficulties with that. I'm working it out. I think I've got it. I've got it done. Myself, and Matthew and Gaddis did our mock draft, and we did it on Wednesday. But we did it. Haven't done the phone in a while, and trying to get it converted, getting back to my old way where I knew how to do it, and I'm I'm getting old, but yeah, I'm getting that edited down, and I hope I've got it where it's going to go up this week. Um, NFL draft, of course, no surprise, Bryce Young taken first by the Panthers. Then kind of wild, and I don't remember as long as I've been following it and could remember what was going on with the draft. I don't remember in the top five a team getting two consecutive picks, but Houston did it. Houston went all out. Houston, of course, takes CJ Stroud at number two and then trades up with the Cardinals, which I told you. I think you'll hear on the episode, but I told you they were going to do that. Uh, the Cardinals were going to trade back. I didn't think it would be with uh, the Texans. I thought it was going to be the Titans because but when CJ Stroud got picked at number two, that went out. That went out the bag for Tennessee, I think, and you know it was a done deal. But yeah, they move up. They get number two and number three. Take Nick Anderson, defensive lineman from Alabama, number three. Um, as far as Pittsburgh goes, I will say this: Omar Khan did a great job with their draft. I think this was one of the, on paper, I think this was the best draft that Pittsburgh has had in a while. Now they just got to go out and prove it. I think by what you see, by their needs, they picked up offensive linemen. They picked up every need they had. Joey Porter Jr. at 32nd, the first night, which I was surprised he was still there. So they got that legacy pick. Um, yeah, I was really pleased with how the draft went for Pittsburgh. They all, and of course, you can rank it on paper, and they were ranking it on paper. A lot of sports outlets are giving Pittsburgh a plus, saying they moved up to legit contenders in their division. So hopefully they're right. Um, okay, I know I'm gonna make some people mad if they're watching. and I apologize, but oh my gosh. And I keep up with hockey a little bit with the Hurricanes, but one of the stories this year in hockey has been the Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins set a record for most wins. And those wins are good and all. It gets you to the playoffs, gets you the first seed in the playoffs. But yeah, when you lose in the first round of the playoffs, the Florida Panthers beat the Bruins in 7 in overtime. And I was shocked. I'm not gonna tell you, and nothing against the Bruins, but I'm a Hurricanes fan. I think the Bruins just don't like the Hurricanes. Bruins fans don't like the Hurricanes, and I think it's vice versa. But yeah, shock. I think that's it's got to be one of the biggest chokes in NHL or sports history. I mean, you go from being like setting a record for most wins in the NHL season, then you go and just don't get past the first round. A lot of people were comparing it to another Boston team, to the Patriots, when they went undefeated and then lost in the Super Bowl. The difference between that, the Patriots got to the Super Bowl and then lost. I know it was a choke, but still, they got there. The Bruins didn't get past the first round. Of course, Milwaukee Bucks losing the first round. They were the number 1 seed. And I kind of like what Giannis said in a press conference, and I'm not going to attempt to say his last name. He said in the press conference, the guy asked him, "Do you consider this season a failure?" And his response was like, do I consider it a failure? No, I don't consider it a failure. The way he worded it was, I provided for my family, stuff like that, and he was like, Michael Jordan played for 15 years. He won 6 championships. Do you think the other 9 seasons were a failure? Which he made a good point. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, he made a good point there. You have to go listen. And Charles Barkley was real adamant about what he said too, which Barkley never won a championship either. But yeah, you have to go back and listen to that press conference. I'll have to post it up there. And of course, LeBron James and the Lakers get through to the first round with they beat the Grizzlies. I think it was 4-1, 4-2, something like that. And it was, there was a lot of talk with the Brooks guy and forgive me for not knowing some of these guys' names, guys. I don't follow the NBA that well. I'm sorry. It's no defense. It's just not the same as it used to be. But yeah, the Brooks kid from Memphis had some things to say about LeBron earlier in the series. And, I thought that was, you never want to give a good NBA, notice I said good NBA player, bulletin board material. But you did it and you paid for it. And if I was their coach, I'd be telling them, keep your mouth shut from now on, which he did after the fact. After the game, I think Brooks was unavailable for comment, got some trouble with the NBA for that. But LeBron's tweet after the game, or on Instagram, excuse me, if you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, yeah, Memphis Grizzly, help the bear. What are you going to do? Flop him to death? That's all you're good for. Flopping. You're not. Look, if the NBA wants to do the whole, all right, we're gonna send him off with a win. That's fine. That's fine. How long we have to deal with LeBron? I'm not a LeBron fan. People that drink the LeBron Kool-Aid, great player for his time, but would not hold a candle back in the 80s or the 90s. He would not be able to take the punishment that happened in the 80s. The rules were different. Yeah. Don't even come at me with he's the best player in NBA history. If he wants to stay around for 30 years and set all the records, that's fine. Jordan didn't need all those years. Jordan went to college. Yeah. Jordan, Russell, they went to college and played. So they didn't have those 3 extra years for Jordan or whatever. Yeah. So it is what it is. That's my opinion. You want to debate it? Come on, let's go. But no, give me a break. I mean, I know the correlation with the Grizzly thing with Memphis, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long you last. Now, I think they're set up to play Golden State now in the second round. Golden State gets a win over the overachieving Sacramento Kings. Was a good story, and I was kind of hoping the Kings will make a splash because they haven't done something in a long time. What was it back when Weber and Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, who else was in there? Mike Bibby. When they were there, that was the Sacramento. And what was White Chocolate? Geez, what was his name? Came from Marshall. I forget his name, but anyway. But yeah, back when they had those teams and they could never get past the Lakers. I was, Kobe and Shaq. They could Robert Horry with a big shot, but yeah, they could never get past the Lakers then. We started off with the sports, with the final score stuff, and I do want to say this: Did you guys see the Vaughn kid get drafted by Dallas? And his dad was a scout and made the call to him. And, he said, "This is Dad. You want to come work with me?" I thought that was great. I thought it was awesome, that he was able to do that with his son. Not a Cowboys fan, but really awesome moment for that guy. And I can't imagine that feeling. And he was really emotional, and that was great. I loved it. But yeah, I wanted to say, keep your eyes and ears open because there's something big coming. And I can't let the cat out of the bag yet, but there's something big coming for us, for you, me, and for you guys that follow the Final Score on the Fly. There's something big coming. And hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be able to fill you in on more details, but, trust me, it's going to be big, and I'm excited about it. So just keep your eyes and your ears open. I'm sure on one of these live updates, you're going to see headline. You're going to see the lineup, that big news, and I'll be able to let you know. No really big trades going on or anything like they were talking about. There would be some trades. Let's see here. NFL Players Association advises the agents that sport books are snitching on players who use gambling apps. The whole big thing with the 5 players that got suspended, some indefinitely. Maybe that was what got them. Let's see. What about Chase Young with Commanders? There was a lot of talk that maybe he would be a draft day trade. One of those, either him or Montez Sweat, would be a draft day trade, which would be great. I would take for the right price as a Steeler. I would love to take a chance and get Chase Young. He comes off an injury, and a big injury, and he didn't really get back to form last year. But take a chance. Maybe a late pick would get him there. But it's still, I guess it's still possible. But I would love to see Chase Young or Montez Sweat come to Pittsburgh. They've got a motor, but I don't know how you would put them there. You've got T.J. Watt, you've got weapons, and I don't know. We'll see. Kansas City attracted 312,000 fans for the 3-day draft, which there was a good crowd there. The first night, pre-draft estimates had landed at 300,000 with the possibility going up to 600,000 based on weather. The crowd was spotty on Saturday, which they not many people, unless you're coming out of town, are there for the third day. Which, I think the NFL did a great job. I don't really, I didn't really flip channels this year because we had so much going on. I was catching it as they came on, and I think it was ESPN I was watching most of. But first night, and then the second night, I started watch. I was gone the second night. I had to go film a prom. The third day when I got home, I was watching it on NFL Network. So, but yeah, like I said, guys, keep your eyes and ears open. There is big news on the horizon, and I'm excited about it. I'm really pumped about it, to tell you the truth. And as soon as I can let you guys know, I will. I had the honor and privilege to guest on the Sports Objective podcast. I told you guys about that with David and with Bubba, Kyle, who gives me a hard time about this Southern accent, and he's got one just as bad, if not worse, than mine. But yeah, it was great because I got to be on there with a sports legend, especially around North Carolina, David Glenn, who was a sports talk legend. I got to be up there and be able to talk with him and be on the same screen with him. And I was like, and I fanboyed out a little bit. I told him, I said, I don't want to fanboy out on you. I said, but it is, quite the honor to be able to be up here with you and talk to you tonight. And he was very gracious, talked about how it was guys like me that made him be able to do that for so long. And it was great. We had a good time. You guys go check out the Sports Objective podcast. Bubba, Kyle, I think Matt and David. You check them out. They've got a network of shows too that you can check out if you're a sports fan, especially ECU sports fan. But yeah, check them out over there. They do a lot. They do great. Let's get into some of the music stuff, music and entertainment. So, Bachman Turner Overdrive lost another member of the band today. Or not today, but over the weekend, I think. Tim Bachman, co-founder guitarist, was found dead at 71. That's the second this year. And guys, we've talked about it so many times that to get to this age, and I'm getting ready to turn 50 this year. We're going to see more and more of this with the people we grew up watching. It's going to happen a lot more often. You can't get used to it, but it's going to happen. And I'm just not. I wasn't a big Bachman Turner Overdrive fan, but you still hate to see this stuff happening. You still hate to see your legends going away. Journey somehow survived through their 50th anniversary tour. With the legal fight between Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain going on. They survived it. George Michael wins Rock Hall fan vote. He got more votes than Iron Maiden and Soundgarden combined. Now, I have nothing against George Michael. I love his stuff. He had a great voice, the late, great George Michael. But I'm going to say it again. Rock Hall of Fame. I don't know. I don't know. Do you consider George Michael rock and roll? They need to have, maybe you need to have a pop music Hall of Fame. Maybe you just need to have a music Hall of Fame. Don't call it rock and roll. Call it a music Hall of Fame. I mean, Dolly Parton went in last year, and even she said she wouldn't accept it at first because she was not a rock artist. But she ended up doing and now we've got a rock album from Dolly Parton getting ready to come out this year, which I'm looking forward to. People from Nikki Sixx to Steve Perry and others are going to be guesting on it. Yeah, should be interesting. Let's see. Metallica. 2-night stand in Amsterdam. They vowed no repeat weekend. They played 32 different songs in 2 nights. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Kiss doing, you Kiss fans out there, can you imagine Kiss doing that? There's no way. Let's see. I'm looking at the set list. And I can't. I thought we were going to pull up both of them. They opened on Thursday night with a Friday. Let's see. Thursday and Saturday they played. Thursday, both nights they opened with an instrumental, Call of Cthulhu. Let's see. This was Saturday night. The set list from Saturday night. What a great set list. Call of Cthulhu, Creeping Death, Leper Messiah, Until It Sleeps, 72 Seasons, If Darkness Had a Sun, Welcome Home Sanitarium, You Must Burn, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Harvest of Sorrow, Moth into Flame, Fight Fire with Fire, Whiskey in the Jar, One, and Enter Sandman. I mean, I don't know. I don't see the other set list for Thursday night. I would, because that had most of their hits right there. They had a lot of their hits right there. So you're getting 2 different shows no matter. And some people argue, well, I don't want to hear all that other stuff. I want to hear the hits. And that's fine. But it's awesome to see them do such diverse set list. And I'm looking to see if I can pull up the Thursday night set list. Here we go. Let's see. Of course, my computer wants to take off. All right. They open with Orion on an instrumental, then go to For Whom the Bell Tolls, Holier Than Thou, King Nothing, Lux Eterna, Screaming Suicide, Fade to Black, Sleepwalk My Life Away, Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True, The Day That Never Comes, Ride the Lightning, Battery, Fuel, Seek and Destroy, and Master of Puppets was the last one. Great set list. I want to talk about something new we're going to do on the fly. We're going to have an artist of the week. And we're starting off, 1st of May. First of all, before I forget, I got to send out some happy birthdays. And I'm going to try to remember this more for you guys out there that are members on the fly and the final score. But we'll try our best to do the birthdays. But two guys that are pretty close to me that have birthdays. And yesterday was one. First of all, I'll talk about my co-host on the fly, Jason Warden. Had a birthday yesterday. Jason turned 51 yesterday, so he's officially over the hill. He is over the hill now. So you guys, if you didn't wish him a happy birthday yesterday, make sure you message him on Facebook or wherever and tell him happy birthday, because he's a good guy most of the time. He's a good guy. Sounds like Turd Ferguson on Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live, which was Burt Reynolds. And now, last but not least, probably, my Bubba, my brother, Randy Fly. He's a great guy, does a lot of great things, that and so helpful for everybody, and all around one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet. Really quiet, but that's him. We were more polar opposites. He would never, ever do anything like this. he would, he would. Ooh, I can imagine he would run by the camera to get away from it so nobody would treat him. But yeah, happy birthday, Randy, and I love you. We all love you here at home, and hope you have had a great day today. Um, hope you've enjoyed yourself. But anyway, so on the fly, we're gonna do our artist of the week starting this week, and I'm gonna try my best to keep up with. I'm making a schedule, trying to get more organized here, and me getting organized takes a lot. So artist of the week, the first one is going to be Kiss, of course. Got to go with my favorite. But we're going to do all different kinds of music. We'll do an album of the week, and that'll be coming. Well, album of the week. And this one, the first album of the week, I wrote it down earlier. And it's going to be surprising to you guys. Kiss Destroyer. So Kiss Destroyer is the album of the week. Kiss is the artist of the week. You're going to be seeing a lot of posts about that and about Destroyer. We'll be talking a lot about it. Maybe on my updates, you'll see more of it. Like, for instance, there was something I shared today on the Fly group about Elvis. Elvis's take on Kiss. It said his stepbrother revealed what the King thought of Kiss when they actually listened to Alive, the first live album Kiss did, the one that really, really launched Kiss's career, put him in the upper echelon. So the moment took place around 1975. Billy Stanley, which is Elvis's stepbrother, had seen a Kiss show for the first time and bought the album, then played it in the basement of Graceland. He said, I got it cranked up, playing air guitar. Elvis comes down and asks, what are you listening to? He said, it's a band called Kiss, and I showed him the album cover, and he said, oh, okay. He sat down on the couch looking at it. He said, okay, I get it. So he said, so play that song again that you was just playing. And it was Let Me Go Rock and Roll, which some people don't like. I like the live version of Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Yeah, I think it really moves. I played it. I actually played it 2 times for him, and I was surprised when he said, play it again. I played it again. I said, what do you think? He said, well, I understand the whole thing. Kiss, keep it simple, stupid, which they do. They keep it simple. And they got the makeup so they can walk around when they get off stage. Nobody sees them and knows who they are or anything like that. He said, good idea. So he said, hey, I have more to say when Stanley asked what he thought of the track. He said, Billy, listen to it. All of it is a 50s groove, but that guitar player, and Billy said, that's Ace Frehley. He said, that guy's got some X-rated guitar licks. I really like him. Before he walked out of the room, he said, I get it. It's 3 chords and a cloud of dust, and that's how you do it. And you leave them wanting more. I'm sure that's how they do it in their live performances. So Stanley revealed that Presley's daughter, Lisa Marie, quickly became a Kiss fan. I'm surprised she didn't say something to Elvis, because Elvis would have had a meeting with them. Let me introduce you guys my daughter, which might have been a mistake. Well, she was a youngin' back then, so, well, you got to watch something. But yeah, so Elvis, kind of a Kiss fan. Best of both worlds, Elvis Presley and Kiss, the king of rock and roll, and the hottest band in the world, Kiss. So we're going to be doing different ones each week. As far as the podcast goes right now, on the fly, we've got 2 more interviews this week with guys from Brickshore Media. I'm working on more interviews. We're holding off. We're doing live right now. We're getting close to 100. I'm trying what I've got worked out for the 100th episode is taking a little bit longer to get scheduled than what I thought, and no fault of anybody's. It's just, time constraints on people. People are busy, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. It's a good thing that people are busy. But yeah, we're going to get that 100th episode. We're going to be coming back. I mean, we've got some great episodes coming up that you're going to love. Some interviews. And if you didn't catch us live the other night, last week we had Michael Lee, and that episode on Facebook has got up to about 700 views, which doesn't sound like a lot for most, but that's the most views we've had on a Facebook Live ever. And thank you guys for that. Thank Michael for coming on. Michael was a great guy. We talked about a little bit of everything. We talked about his dad. I said Mike was like my brother from another mother because his dad, we were talking about professional wrestling, and his dad was a professional wrestler for Georgia Championship Wrestling. And we talked about that. We talked about some sports stuff. We're definitely gonna have Michael back on. And then Flint Adams was another guy we had on last week, and Flint was just freaking awesome. And these two guys were just the best, friendliest guys. They were just great. And I thank Nicole at Brickshore Media for that, for getting us those guys. And like we said, we've got 2 more this week. We've got Mark Taylor tomorrow night live at 8:00. Then we got Wade Quick Wednesday night at 8:00. And we've also got some shows we're doing. We're working, guys, and we're working on the fly, Final Score. We're working on stuff, but just bear with us till we get this 100th one done, and then you'll see more of them popping up on the podcast. And I like what somebody said. I want you guys to miss me, but how can you miss me when I never go away? And you probably get tired. Oh, Stevie, he's up there again. But anyway, so bear with us. But like I said, big news coming in the next month or so. Keep your fingers crossed. I think it's a done deal, but we'll be letting you know more on that as we go. All right. So join up, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channels at On the Fly and the Final Score. You never know what's going to pop up on there. What kind of videos might pop up there? No, not those kind. If you're on Facebook, join the On the Fly Facebook group. We're at over 500 members now. I want to get to, my next goal is 550. I want to get 550, and I just want to take baby steps and get us there. You can put stuff up there, share your comments, share what you think about our post. We've got a great group in there that has a lot of different interests, and I promise you, it's not just a rock like an 80s rock group. Believe me, it's a lot more than that. Country, some R&B, rock, a little bit of everything in there, and you never know what might pop up in there. But guys, just thank you so much for what you've done, over the last 3 years, 4 for the Final Score, 3 for On the Fly, for listening. And we really appreciate it. You guys are the best. But like I said, you want to do me a favor, subscribe to our YouTube channels on each of the podcasts. It won't take you 5 minutes. Find it on wherever you listen to podcasts at, On the Fly, the Final Score. Wherever you listen to podcasts at, go give us a 5-star review. That moves us up in the food chain, and it is a food chain. And it'll help me get better interviews. I'm making good contacts now. I'm trying to get, some big names in here every once in a while. But it's hard to do sometimes, especially for a new little podcast like we are that's just trying to move up. So you guys keep on doing what you're doing. And like I said, it doesn't cost you anything to give you that 5-star review or subscribe. It'll take you like 5 minutes at the most. But anyway, you guys have a great night, and we will see you next time on the Fly on the Final Score.